Could the future of augmented reality be harmful to the future of card games? Okay, I don't have my tinfoil hat. I've not made a new one since moving into the house a few months ago. But stick with me because this is going to be a weird theory. Could the future of augmented reality be harmful to the future of card games? Now, I know that sentence alone is very weird, but I want to. It's been something that's been plaguing my mind since I came across some poker videos on it, and it really is bugging. It really is bugging me. I don't know enough about coding to know if and when this is possible, and I know a majority about the tech that I'm going to talk about, as well as how it can be implemented and how it's kind of been implemented in movies and media, and why people could see this as fearmongering. Now, this is going to be one of my more wilder theories, but at the same time might resonate with some people. Augmented reality glasses, augmented reality tech is nothing new. Google glasses have been around for quite a while at this point, and now we've got Ray-Bans and other companies jumping in on there, and it's getting to the point where you are being recorded by strangers without knowing this. There has been a rise of people on things like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube that have been recorded by these glasses and not known about it, and they've kind of blown up virally, some for the right reasons, some for the wrong reasons, and others for people just being disgusting. Well, I've been looking at this and I've been kind of just in this head of it's getting very sci-fi at the minute. And then I came across some poker videos where where people were talking about the use of augmented reality with probability algorithms in poker. So what would happen is people would play with mats that are card readers. They'd play with glasses that have got cameras in them, and there'd be people off to the sides with computers and other things like that, getting the information fed to them, and then using it to predict statistics, predict the hand strength, predict what's left in the deck, and kind of and using it to kind of collect all the information around them from themselves and the other players to know what their chances are of winning. And people have been been asking this to be dealt with or banned or policed a lot more because it's new tech that the old rules are not designed to deal with. And it's very cool to see. Now, you're not going to see it's like the highest, but it's also one of the things that's very hard to catch. If I don't have an earpiece in and have people feeding me information, if I don't have anything going on like that, and I'm just wearing glasses which is feeding me the information that you cannot see, what indications do you have that I'm actually doing something wrong? If I'm just wearing sunglasses, what is the issue? So it got me thinking about card games, Universus, Pokemon Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Riftbound, anything like that, anything with an open deck list. Open deck list is kind of important for if you're adjusting your opponent's play, but anything where you can input the data. So if I can input my deck's data into these glasses, look at my hand and go, I've got 5 foundations, 1 attack. I'm a 5-hander, so these glasses can now tell me I have a X in X chance of checking an attack on here. So it can kind of feed me the best way to build. And then every time I check an attack, every time I check a foundation, the numbers recalculate, allowing me to know when to stop. In the early game, it's not going to be as impactful. When you get into the later game, when you've not really been tracking, rather than having to go through your discard, rather than having to count all your cards and go, okay, I have this many cards left. It's just there immediately, going boom. You have 25% chance of checking an attack. So optimal play is to just go in. At the same time, if you can feed your opponent's deck list into here, because in Universes, especially, we have open deck list events, if you can feed your opponent's deck list into know exactly what they're running, you can be told what block zones to hold, what their average speed of an attack is going to be. You can scan the foundations they have in play, run that against their attacks, and tell you what their next turn may even look like. If I'm playing against someone whose deck list says they're not playing any mid attacks, I can have that information fed to me. Go, do not hold mids, hold high and low, and you're in a good position to block. At the same time, you can also break all that information. I don't need to remember it all. It can go, oh, this person only has 9 low. This person only has 9 low blocks. They have played 6 of them. So they only have 3 low blocks left in their deck. Play lows or change your zones to lows, and you're most likely going to hit. It's a way to feed in information. And as far as I know, all you need are the glasses, a connection, and a way to input the information. It's not that hard. And you also need a very complicated algorithm to track the monitor in live feed. So that's a bit more difficult. But to me, as the technology gets more advanced, as the technology gets easier to conceal, and people are being filmed and monitored and questioned with these glasses on, and people, they're not even aware of it, and it just has me feeling that eventually someone's going to bring this into the gaming world. Someone is going to create someone's going to essentially create augmented enhancements for gaming. Now, I did reach out to our current world champion, Kevin Broberg, because 1, he's a master coder, and 2, he's a master player. He's won worlds multiple times, and he is an amazing coder. So I thought this is the best person to speak to about this. And he had a 2-part answer on this for me. The first part was, this is a reality. This is something that could very well exist in the future and may very well be in the works now. It's an actual thing that can be done. There are ways to overlay screens and overlay a user interface onto Ray-Bans and Google Glasses and all these other things that are hard to detect from people and will feed in information. However, the second part of the answer was more about the game, especially for every single TCG. Luck is a big part of it. RNG dictates games, especially for a card game like Universus, where our resource symbol comes from our deck, where although we're drawing a lot of cards, we can still have terrible RNG. So that is what Kevin identified to me as the biggest issue with this technology. It's all well and good, your augmented reality, your user interface going, you have a 10% chance of checking a attack. You're fine to play this. You're fine to play your next attack on a 7 with only 2 foundations. You've got a 90% chance of checking a 5. You're fine. And then you check the 3 because you still had the 1 in 10 chance. And that is how games go down. I know multiple people that have said they've got 1 attack in 15, 1 attack in 20 cards, and that's the card they check because that's how RNG works. There are ways to control your luck and factor in luck, and that's what the best players do. And that is what augmented reality could kind of compensate for. It could help people know what they're meant to be identifying. It can help people learn and grow as a teaching tool on how to get better at the game. But if it's over relied on, it would essentially make you a weaker player because you become too reliant on the stats and statistics. You become too reliant on, oh, this is a bad check. I'm not going to check the 6. I'm not going to check the 5. I'm not going to be able to pass this check and get the kill because the stats tell me I only have a 5% chance of checking well enough to make this attack worth it. However, you have the players that will win the games, the players that will have this instinct in their head going, I'm not going to check bad, I've got this, and just throw down that attack, check the 5, commit out and go, you die. And that is the players that will win games, the ones that can hold their instincts kind of. Whereas if you become too light on the stats and statistics, chances are you're just going to get beaten down. You could be literally told, oh yes, they've only got high attacks left, and then they pull out something that lets them pick up attacks. There's so many The game is so variable. Like, a character like Elder to Go would just be so hard to predict because it's a case of, oh yes, they've only got one attack left. They've only got two attacks left in their deck. They're both high, hold highs, and they go, cool, I'll Elder to Go, and I'll drop this Harness of Death and burn you to death. And they go, oh, the glasses didn't account for this. Yeah, because the glasses would then have to say, oh yeah, every single attack in their discard is a playable option. It's something that can pop up, but it isn't going to be something that is going to be constantly there. This rant's gone on a bit longer than I wanted to, but it's been playing on my mind. I brought this up to a few people in Glasgow. I've been talking with a few people I've been talking to a couple of people in the Universus kind of R&D department about it, and I keep getting reminded about it because every so often I'll see a TikTok of a woman being interviewed without her consent, or people going into nightclubs or other places using Ray-Bans to record. I'll see more clips of people in poker complaining about augmented reality and predictive map readers, and it just keeps reminding me I haven't made this video yet. It would be very cool to see this because it's kind of that sci-fi aspect of you put your glasses on, you get like your full dive experience where you get to kind of see how the game's going to play out. You can use it as a learning tool, but at the same time, I personally think it would diminish your skills as a player. You learn your skills as a player through playing wins, losses, discovering synergies, discovering ways to play, ways to utilize on the fly as through practice and reps. And if you're just sat there being told how to do it through a user interface script, you're not really going to grow. You're just going to get better at doing it. You're not going to really grow because you may not understand why you're making those plays other than the computer told me to. This, like I said, this was a bit one of my more wild theories. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this something you hadn't even considered? Is this something that you have been working on yourself? And do you think it has potential as a learning tool to help new players? If we could get a VR augmented reality kind of setup where you can be taken through the experience of playing the game, learning at your own pace, kind of thing, like almost like the Diced app, but in a more fully autonomous, more in a way that you can interact with and can help you rather than a scripted interaction. It's more like you get to play and get corrected and told how to play rather than just seeing a scripted app. This has gone a lot longer than I thought I was going to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it to the end and have no idea what to put in the comments, just put, this is a crazy one. So let me know you made it this far. For theories, news, and more, win, lose, or draw, keep it with Universus, and I'll see you at game night. Bye.